A subscription model for sports writers. I subscribe to it and read it regularly. Mostly agree, today disagree. There's an article today. The headline is, Can the Cowboys afford to pay Dak in the NFL's broken quarterback economy? And the premise of the article is Tua with the Miami Dolphins and Jordan Love sign their mega deals, and Mahomes ranks only 11th in annual salary. That, says the article, is the problem. I disagree. There's a lot of different ways to make money. Real estate, pensions, equity in a business, stock market. There's a lot of different ways. Same with quarterbacks. I think the more gifted quarterbacks who are really smart take a little less, get surrounded by better players, win more, and then you're Tom Brady, you retire, and a TV network gives you $30 million a year. Not because you're handsome, but because you won more. Go ask Drew Brees. He took the bag for a couple of years in New Orleans with Sean Payton and lost. Then he took much less, restructured his deal to help the roster, won a Super Bowl. He's now iconic and won't have to worry about money the rest of his life. Brady took cuts because he had confidence in himself and the organization to surround it with championship-level players. Travis Kelce and Mahomes have structured team-friendly deals. You think Taylor Swift is dating a Carolina Panther tight end? Mahomes makes over $45 million in Kansas City with endorsements.
I just got to add real fast. If Taylor Swift was not willing to date Travis Kelce because he was a tight end for Carolina, I mean, that's pretty sleazy then of Taylor Swift, and then that would make me question their relationship, which I already question the relationship. I mean, I don't really care about the relationship, but it's just a bizarre thing to add. Like, I'm sorry, I only date like Super Bowl winning tight ends. You know, like what about personality, attraction, joy, connection, love? You know, come on.
I think he makes that as a 500 quarterback or slightly better. Winning is the thing in football. In baseball, it's about lore and history. You can't listen to sports radio without a Koufax or a Mickey Mantle reference. Basketball's artistic, aesthetic, and optics. Bruh, football's about winning. Win games. Talk later. Kirk Cousins has made a decision, a choice to always take the most money. Okay. But he's not that relevant. Rich, but what's his post-football career if he wants one? Tua, with his injury history, I totally understand Tua saying, hey, I'm not Josh Allen physically. I'm not that big and strong. I'm taking the money. That I get. But I think for a Manning or a Breeze or a Brady or a Mahomes, I think the truly gifted guys know, I'll take a little less. I have a chance to win on an annual basis. A lot of cabbage. Again, there's a lot of different ways, and people make a lot of choices. You and your family may make choices. You may say, hey, I'm willing to move to Philadelphia. I don't necessarily want to live in a big city or buy one, but I just got double the salary. Many people don't want to live in New York, but they go there for the job. We all make choices, right? A little less quality of life, a little more income, or vice versa. Quarterbacks can do the same. Dak Prescott's got a quote when talking about his contract negotiations. He said, quote, I've said it before, I have an obligation to the NFL and other quarterbacks when it comes to getting paid. Tom Brady never talked about that. Tom Brady simply talked about winning Super Bowls. Dak's making a choice and talking about things I don't give a crap about. Brady talked about stuff I do, trophies. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Drew Brees, lots of quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Kelce, they get the bigger picture, the long game. It's not the only game to play, though. I get Tua taking the bag. Jalen Hurts, smaller quarterback. Saban moved off him, had his critics, second round. He's probably like, give me mine. I do not begrudge that. But the great quarterbacks who have the size, don't get hurt, have the confidence, generally, they don't have to be the highest paid quarterback. They'll get it later. They'll get it in shoes. They'll get it in endorsements. They'll get it in TV contracts because football's about winning.
Okay. It's winning. I do. I agree. with what Colin is saying. But I think it's a little bit more nuanced, and I don't think it's completely fair. This idea of like, someone like Kirk Cousins won't have a career post his NFL career, which is absurd. One, he doesn't need money. These guys made so much money that the amount of money that they just make off of interest alone is insane. It's more money than you could ever even fathom. As long as you're not done with your money and you just do like the traditional conservative investments where there's really essentially like zero risk of losing, right? Like none of these like sketchy things. The amount of money that you make is just absurd. That's why the rich get richer and the poor get poor, because once you have a chunk of change, it's a snowball that just keeps just getting bigger and 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 bigger. So they don't need money, but if they just want to be able to do stuff, they can too. Like, is Colin implying that on FS1 and ESPN, it's only these like big time winners and they're the ones that are on TV? Because go watch ESPN. Go watch some of the commentators for FS1. Mark Sanchez didn't win a Super Bowl. He was just on the show. He does, the commentating. I mean, like, I could name you a million people, right? There's all these players that were not Tom Brady or Drew Brees, and yet they're on TV nonstop. So, like, let's be serious here. Don't get me wrong, winning absolutely elevates your stock. No question. And if Kirk Cousins was a 2-time Super Bowl winner or 3-time Super Bowl winner, yes, he would be significantly more larger than life. His runway would be bigger, and so there would be more opportunity. But again, what opportunity do they want? Kirk Cousins is a legitimate family man, has a beautiful family, loves his wife and kids, and it's really awesome. Tom Brady, on the other hand, we know is not that, right? Which is fine. Not everyone's like that. That's totally fine. Some people, the family is the priority. Sometimes it's not. I'm not here to judge. I've talked about this a lot, especially with Brandon Ayuk, about getting money versus not getting money. I do agree with Colin, where it's just like we all have choices to make, right? I can just make it about myself. I live a very specific life where I could have absolutely done stuff professionally that would have made significantly more money. And because I wanted a different life, a life that had more freedom and flexibility, a life that did prioritize family, especially things like with my parents who are older and my little niece and nephew who I was greatly involved in as they were getting older. And hopefully, one day when I get married and have kids, like being able to make that the focal point and having that better quality of life. But I've also hurt myself financially because of it, right? So it is a give and take. So you have to figure out what's important for you. And if you're like, I want that money, because then someone said recently, well, it doesn't work that way for other professions because they have a shorter window. And it's like they might have a shorter window, but they already make so much money to begin with. We're acting like they either are going to get paid $200 million right now, or they're only going to make $2 million. Like, that's not what we're talking about. It's also understanding the difference that, especially like Dak, who's already gotten the bank, he's already made bank. The difference between him getting $65 million a year and, say, $55 million a year, he will not feel it. He will not feel it. You reach a point where it's just not going to be a thing. He can only spend so much money. Okay? Like, it's just, you reach a point where you're just not going to feel it. You're just not. Once you get up once you have hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, you're just not, it's just going to be there's not going to be a fundamental difference to your life. And I get the scarcity mindset. The want to make as much money as you can. I get it, because I don't have a lot of money, so I get it. And I think a lot of fans are like, well, I don't make a ton of money and I want more money. If you're going to pay me $50,000 a year or $90,000 a year, give me that money. And yes, if you're going to go from $50,000 to $90,000 or even $50,000 to $65,000, yeah, that's a massive difference. That $15,000 is a huge difference. That can be the difference between going to the grocery store and being like, yeah, I can buy what I need to, I don't know, this chicken is a little bit more expensive, I'll just wait, I mean, maybe it'll go on sale, right? Like, that is different. Oh my God, my car is messed up. I don't know, I don't need to get it checked out right now. It's shaking a little bit, but it's all right. Brakes are squeaking, it's all good. I can do it. But when you're going from 55 million to 65 million or 25 million to 30 million, that's not the difference. You're not feeling it. You're just not. So then again, it's like, well, then what do you want out of your career? Because people say get as much money as you can. Your career is for a shorter period of time. Okay, that's true. But also part of your career is how good can you be? Can you make a Hall of Fame resume? Can you win? Can you win Super Bowls? And if that's the case, then you need to figure it out. You have a short window. So it's give and take. So then you got to ask Dak, like, what's important to you? Do you want to win? Do you want to win Super Bowls? And if the answer is yes, then we know it's significantly harder when you try to maximize your money. And this idea that he has a responsibility to reset the market is so comically, insanely absurd. It doesn't make any sense. I don't even want to talk about it any more than that because it's just such a dumb statement to make. Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, like, they do not have that burden. It's my responsibility to reset the quarterback market and keep raising it. It's just dumb. It just is. There's no other way to define it than just that's just dumb. He owes nothing to no one in regards to that. Okay, there's no historical context in this regard. It does not matter. What matters is, will he win? Is he a winning quarterback? Can you help this team win a Super Bowl? Are you willing to operate in a way that helps this franchise or any franchise build a better team and win? That is what your responsibility is. Not to maximize your money to reset the quarterback market for other quarterbacks coming up. It just doesn't make any sense. And if all Dak does care about the money, well, then you know what? That's great information to know. That's useful information to know for any other team, and especially the Dallas Cowboys. And that's okay. I'm sure there are some doctors out there, lawyers, not that I'm sure, I know that there are doctors and lawyers and other professions. They are there just for the money. That is what they care. Some of them only care about the prestige. They want all those letters after their name. They want to be in charge of this, division and that division and this and that. They want that. That's all they care about. Well, there's some that really care about the practice itself. They really want to help people. They really love to use their hands, and so they want to do surgeries. They really love to help people when they're most vulnerable. So it matters. Because also ask yourself, do you want to go to a doctor who is just trying to maximize his money? Because those doctors have like surgery farms there. They just get people in and out doing surgeries nonstop. I've been at a lot of surgeries, a lot of sports injuries, and I've met those doctors. I've had a doctor say to me, I think you're going to make a full recovery, but I suggest you get surgery. And it's like, well, then why do you want me to get surgery if you're saying that I'm going to make a full recovery? And then when you ask them further questions, if I get surgery or don't get surgery, will the outcome be the different? I don't think there'll be any different in outcome. So then why do you want to do surgery? You should want to do the least invasive intervention because they make more money when they do the surgery. That's how it goes. When you find a doctor who's like, hey, I actually think that you're going to make a full recovery no matter what we do, whether it's surgery or not surgery. So I suggest we don't do surgery. We can kind of monitor it, see how it goes, and then adjust from there. That's a doctor who's putting the patient first. That's who you want to be with. And guess what? It's okay. Granted, it's a little bit different when you're a doctor because you can actually cause fundamental harm. You can't necessarily cause fundamental harm when you're a quarterback, but you can hurt your team. And if all you are is trying to maximize that money, then that does hurt the Dallas Cowboys. If Dak was probably willing to take a little bit less money and do a team-friendly deal like a Patrick Mahomes, Micah and CeeDee Lamb are probably already signed and they got that taken care of. There's more clarity. And then maybe they have some room and they take a chance and they say, all right, we're going to go get Saquon. We're going to go out and get Derrick Henry. Now the Cowboys are rolling. Now they're in a really good situation. They're in a significantly better situation. Maybe Mike McCarthy now has some moves and can get them over the hump. Or maybe they move on. Now they're more confident to move on from Mike McCarthy. And now they can really recruit another great coach. Maybe they do get Bill Belichick, Ben Johnson, or whoever, Harbaugh. Like it gives you more freedom, flexibility, and ultimate power. And if Dak Prescott did win a Super Bowl, man, the amount of money that he would make on the back end would be through the roof. Through the roof. And make no mistake about it. Whether Dak Prescott wins the Super Bowl or doesn't, he will still have a future post-game. He will still be able to have some sort of podcast. Fox Sports would happily invite him. You don't think that Colin would have him on his show once a week sitting down? Colin's QB corner with Dak Prescott sitting on that couch? Of course he would. So he doesn't have to win a Super Bowl or not, quite frankly. So it's not a matter of you trying to think if you win, you'll be more relevant and you'll have more prospects. It's more like, what do you want from your career? Do you want to maximize money for your career? Fine, then go do that. Do you want to maximize winning and Super Bowl potential, Hall of Fame potential? Okay, well, then you're probably going to have to take a little bit less. It's really that simple. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think Dak should be looking to reset the quarterback market, or do you think he should be taking a discount to either stay in Dallas or maybe take a discount somewhere else? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.